for all of the elders who come across this video, I really feel like y'all should get y'all stories out about that crack.
I wasn't on crack, young man, but I can tell you this. During that time, I was a child, um, middle school kid. By the time I got to middle school, that is when my eyes started to see people transform from that or from being on crack. One story I can remember, or one thing I can remember was there was this lady in town. She was one of the most beautiful women that you could have ever laid your eyes on at the time. And in a year's time, she looked like a totally different human being. I saw very successful people become street trash in 6 months. I don't think a lot of people talk about how powerful that drug was. That could be why the CIA chose that drug to plant in our community to try to destroy a people. But I talked to a man some years ago, and he told me that of all the drugs that he's ever tried, that was the drug that he thought about every single day: crack. Um, and I'm just speaking from my personal experience. There are so many stories I can tell you about living in that time. I do remember I lived in a town. There were about 2,500 people there, but everybody's family had somebody on crack in it. Everybody. That is no joke. Everybody's family. And that young man, he's a young man. I wonder why he asked that question, why isn't that story getting out? That seems to be a thing that people push away when you start talking about the crack epidemic. But I believe there is some trauma still floating out there from that, if you know what I'm talking about. So, yes, young man, the story does need to be told. Um, right now, I just can't gather up everything, but that came to the top of my head. I tell this story a lot about, how I used to see people just go from up here to down there in just very short times. Good job.